Okay, we have a balance problem. Seriously. I'm not talking about handstands. Handstands are great. You should try them. They're lots of fun. Do you want to try one now? Oh, maybe later, maybe later. Today I'm going to share with you a simple but profound shift in perspective on the topic of balance. My aim is to give you some fuel and some tools to increase adaptability and resilience as we all face a rapidly changing world, a world that seems to be hurtling out of balance. Let's start with this feather. It looks delicate. Watch. When I balance it on a single finger, it moves. It wobbles, but it doesn't fall. As long as I adjust with it. No tension, just attention. I know, you're probably thinking, this is just some guy with some tricks. And well, I am that. But I promise you, this is not just a trick. This is something that I discovered about how we move through change. And I learned it first, not on a stage, but in a very different kind of balancing act when I was young. I grew up in a small lakeside town in Ontario, Canada, called Parry Sound. Think snow machines and boats, pine trees, and, well, more bears and beavers than people. We lived in an off-grid cottage. No electricity, no road access, and the only heat was from the wood and the wood stove that we would use all winter long. It was wild and beautiful, and it was also completely unpredictable. Between the ages of 9 and 14, I lost my entire support structure. First, my grandparents passed away. Then my father. And then one night, my mom was coming home from night school. She had gone back to study psychology, and her car slipped on an icy road and went into a frozen lake. So there I was, age 14, trying to raise my younger brother, trying to figure out what life all meant without any of the people who had held me up. Change wasn't a theory. It was my reality. And I think maybe that's why I became so interested in what keeps people upright when life knocks them sideways. Now, if I'm at a dinner party, yes, I occasionally get an invite, thanks. Someone always tells me how out of balance they are. And I get it. It's a lot, isn't it? If we zoom out, fire, floods, we've got global conflicts, and of course, screens that never sleep. And still, you are told to find balance. Whoa. 46% of Australian workers say they feel burned out. Almost 1/3 of Australians feel lonely. Climate events are escalating. Education systems are trying to prepare students for jobs that, well, don't yet exist. Maybe it's not that we are out of balance. Maybe it's that the world itself is shifting underneath us. Let's look at the research. The research on balance is very clear. It says balance is not something that you find, it's something that you engage with. Studies in psychological flexibility and dynamic systems theory suggest that adaptation, not stasis, is what allows us to thrive in complexity and respond well to change. So my proposition is simple. Don't chase balance. Instead, get good at the skill of balancing. It's a show, you can clap. Thank you. And what I love is acrobats do this instinctively. When I was 15, after everything had happened, an aunt took me into her home. Aunt Suzanne. Aunt Suzanne was incredible. She was generous and strong and caring. I was self-centered. I was distracted and lost. Aunt Suzanne was the anchor of the house. I was more like a hurricane in the living room. I had completely disengaged from school. I was involved with alcohol, drugs, fighting, getting in trouble with the law. These were elements of my everyday life. I had been arrested twice and was working off 300 hours of community service. So by all accounts, I was going down the wrong road. Aunt Suzanne would always say to me, "Daniel, you need to find balance." Oh, not this again. But I think she knew what she was talking about, because the first thing that she lined up was a coach. She enrolled me in gymnastics. Now, instead of running from instability, I was balancing on it. Literally. I was climbing, jumping, landing, balancing, preparing, spinning, clapping. And it taught me something that I didn't have words for back then. It taught me something powerful. Balance isn't stillness. Balance is movement. Thank you. Later, I'd take those skills from gymnastics into performance, and from performance into business, coaching, communication, leadership. And now, whether I'm working with a government agency or a local not-for-profit or a startup or someone recovering from a major life shift, I keep seeing the same thing. It's not about having everything lined up. It's about making the right adjustment in the moment. Let's go back 15 years ago. I was working with this amazing group of young acrobats at the South Australian Circus Centre, Cirkids. We weren't just training tricks, we were exploring how a group could balance together. And we went deep. Our first show was called Connected. We gathered and absorbed knowledge from around the circus world. We refined a practice based in trust, timing, and shared creation. That group went on to form Gravity and Other Myths, now one of Australia's most celebrated acrobatic ensembles, and by all accounts, an international success. And they've taught me something powerful over the years. Balancing isn't an individual skill. It's a collective art, and one that can hold up entire companies, even in collapse. When the pandemic hit, their international touring schedule vanished. Acrobats around the country and the world were left at home, isolated, unable to perform, disconnected from what they loved and their livelihood. Gravity and Other Myths did not wait for things to go back to normal. Instead, they made a radical shift. They gathered 30 acrobats, a 30-person choir, and they created a new show called The Pulse. The result? A show like the world has never seen. They turned restriction into collaboration, using the limitations of the time, winning awards, opening major arts festivals around the world, and earning global recognition. Their superpower? Collective adaptability. And I've seen it too in all kinds of workplaces, hospitals, classrooms, councils. The teams that keep moving survive the shift. Now, it turns out there's a name for this. It's called psychological flexibility. Psychological flexibility is the capacity to stay present, shift perspective, and take meaningful action, even when things are uncertain or hard. And acrobats do this instinctively. Let's go back to this feather. You all have a feather. Can you hold your feather up? Let's try an experiment. What happens if we stay still, no movement, and try and balance the feather on our hand? Yeah, it falls. But if we try again, we open our awareness, we allow movement, we start to adjust. Yeah, good. It stays upright. And maybe we even gain enough skill and confidence to try more difficult challenges. Thank you, thank you. You can put your feathers down. Recent behavioral studies tell us that people who make small, values-aligned adjustments, not rigid plans, report higher resilience, lower burnout, and stronger well-being. I'll take some of that, please. So I guess what we're really talking about here is the C word. Change, change. It's a big word for some people. How do we become change ready? I've had the honor for half my life to coach people through small and large change moments, and in all of them, I've noticed a pattern. People who adapt well don't have fewer challenges. They have a better relationship with change. I call this the acrobatics of being change ready. And I've put it together in a framework so that we can all practice. What are we practicing? We're practicing balancing change, because it's coming. I'll talk you through it, but first a big intro. Everyone, these are the chairs of adaptability. You know I like a bit of applause, so thank you. The first one stands for awareness. This is our foundation. The ability to notice the shift before it knocks us over. Many of us are moving so quickly, this chair invites us to slow down to the speed of awareness. The practice here is to shift from control to curiosity. The next chair stands for balancing. Not balance, balancing. This chair is about movement. It's about making small adjustments, or as I like to call them, tiny daring steps. What if play wasn't just a break from work, but it was the method? Practice with this chair is to shift from perfection to play. The next chair, the top chair, stands for connection. More now than ever, we can't do it by ourselves. In our families, in our workplaces, in our communities, we need each other. This chair invites us to ask, how might we upgrade our definition of communication to connection? And of course, if we can balance well with others, the rewards are great. We can integrate different thinking. We'll have a greater capacity for creativity and innovation through risk-taking. The practice here is to shift from individual to collective. Now, as you can see, becoming change ready is a balancing act. Imagine you were the acrobat, climbing a stack of tall chairs to a handstand. Actually, would anyone else like to give this a try? Okay, it's my turn today. You would need three things. You would need awareness to notice the shifts. You would need balancing skill to make adjustments as you move. And you would need connection with the structures and people that hold you up. If we can bring these elements of adaptability together, I believe we can be more prepared for change. And amazing things can happen. Thank you. Because of where I come from, I feel most at home when I'm having to take risk, when I'm having to be resilient. I know that's not how everyone works. We all have a different relationship with change. But I like to think that maybe we all have an acrobat inside of us. So next time life shifts for you, and I think it will, don't chase perfect balance. It's an illusion. Try not to freeze for too long. Instead, remember the feather, the chairs, and the acrobat. And please, no matter what you do, forget balance. Let's become good at balancing. Now, will someone just get me down from here?